After leaning into bad advice, Sam Williams-Dixon found his way back to where he truly belonged.
You are Locked On Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in, Buckeye fans, to a bonus episode of Locked On Buckeyes, which is your daily Ohio State podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, also the host of the Jay Stevens Podcast. And during this Buckeye Blitz, we'll discuss Sam Williams-Dixon's relationship with Carlos Locklyn. But first, every college athlete is going to get a lot of advice from them, and sometimes it's on a regular basis. After your freshman year, you kind of analyze and assess things you did during that season, as well as get advice from your coaches, your family, your friends, and try to figure out the right path for you. Well, Sam Williams-Dixon was trying to figure out the right path for him and received some bad advice. And while receiving some bad advice, he went to the transfer portal. While in said portal, he realized he belonged at Ohio State. He ditched the portal to go and be a Buckeye once again. And I think this is a great move for Sam Williams-Dixon's career. And this is not the first time Ohio State's had to deal with a player that was young, that had a promising future, but didn't play a lot in their freshman season, that went to the portal. I mean, just a year ago, Bryson Rogers, the same thing happened to him. People were saying it looks like he's going to go to play for a school on the East Coast. And I wasn't going to say what a school's name. There were a few schools that were thrown out. But Williams-Dixon and Rogers both had a realization while in the portal that they should be at Ohio State, and that being a Buckeye was the best option for them. If you're a receiver or if you're a running back, where else would you want to go? I mean, you got Hartline, who is the best receiver developer in the country. He is a guy that is the best wide receiver recruiter in the country. Why would you want to go anywhere else? To get on the field faster? Okay, that's reality. But if you realize it may take you 2 or 3 years to get on the field while being at Ohio State, and all of a sudden you're going to pop while you're at Ohio State, wait a year or two to get on the field, nothing wrong with that. That's life. If you're a running back, where else would you want to go? You want to go to Alabama? Why? You got Locklyn. He literally had a 1,000-yard rushers in his backfield last year, in his first year at the school. You want to go to USC? You might not win a lot. You want to go to team up north? You're about to get the hammer from the NCAA. Where would you want to go? LSU? Okay, you're not even one of your own conference. I mean, I can keep going down the list of schools. Texas? Okay, y'all lost to Ohio State in the national semifinal. I can keep going down the list about school here and school there. For these two positions, I don't see why you wouldn't want to go anywhere else. If you get jumped in the depth chart, okay, that may happen. Keep working, keep grinding. You can do what's needed to get your spot back. You can. Nobody else. And sometimes the grass isn't always greener on the other side. People wish that it was, and they would love if the transfer portal were one where you could look out there and there would be just a sign right there. You put your name in the portal, there's a sign that says greener grass 5 miles away. You mean it's down the street? Oh, man, I'm going to jog for a little bit and go to that greener grass. Or, oh, no, this grass isn't greener. It's 2.5 miles away. Wait, so I could go to greener grass, double the distance of where the not greener grass is. I'm going double the distance. It'd be great if there was a sign out there that would do that for us. That's not how life works. Life also works where you're going to get some advice that's bad. I mean, really bad. And when you get bad advice, you may feed into it because of the source, or you may feed into it because it sounds good. Whatever the case may be, you may fall into a trap where you're feeding into some bad advice you get, and the next thing you know, you're really close to going to a place that isn't the best place for you. And for Sam Williams-Dixon this year, look at the Ohio State's roster on the running back room. Yeah, you got Peoples and Donaldson who are at the top of the list right now as far as 1 and 2, as far as who's going to start at running back. While Williams-Dixon's like right there by himself. He's even above T.C. Coffey, who is not only recovering from an injury, but I don't think T.C. Coffey's better than Sam Williams-Dixon. I don't. You got 3 incoming freshmen that are really, really talented, but Williams-Dixon knows the offense better. He knows that his own position coach better. He understands the offense better than the incoming guys. There's a whole lot of things that he has at his disposal to make him a better option. But also, while being a better option, you got to make sure you put in the work every single day. You got to make sure you have the right kind of relationship with your coach, position coach specifically, as well as making sure that transition from high school to college is eventually going to be on a level field and not rocky and a roller coaster every single day. Well, those two things are topics we're going to dive into after the break. This episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Daylight savings snuck up on us again. And if you're feeling that lost hour of sleep, 5 Hour Energy has your back. The extra sunshine means more time for fun, but sometimes you need a little boost to power through. Whether you're staying up late watching the NCAA tournament, squeezing in a round of golf after work, or just trying to keep up with your busy day, 5 Hour Energy gives you that quick, refreshing pick-me-up whenever you need it. I've been staying up late watching all the tournament action, and 5 Hour Energy helps me keep up the next day. With longer days, I love getting outside for a hike or a run. Tropical Burst is my go-to for a quick boost. Head to 5hourenergy.com to find out over 15 flavors to choose from, including watermelon, blue raspberry, and peach mango. You can even build your own 12-pack or 24-pack delivered right to your door. Need one now? Grab a 5 Hour Energy shot at your local grocery or convenience store. They're everywhere. Stock up today and stay energized. This episode is brought to you by Game Time. Imagine watching your favorite team live, feeling the energy of the crowd, and witnessing unforgettable moments. There's nothing like experiencing a big game in person. Getting tickets shouldn't be stressful. That's where Game Time comes in, making it easier than ever to grab last-minute seats at unbeatable prices. There are a few ways that Game Time makes your ticket purchasing process less stressful, and one of them is Game Time Picks, which is a curation that makes it easier to find better value for tickets. I just checked the Game Time app, and there are amazing deals on some huge matchups coming up. The lowest price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. They also provide a peace of mind with seat views before you buy. There are no surprise fees and a lowest price guarantee. You can book with total confidence. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account on the Game Time app and make sure you use that code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Thank y'all for tapping into this bonus episode of Locked on Buckeyes and making this show a part of your day. One thing I think all of us make a part of every day is Buckeye football. I mean, springtime, summertime, definitely in the fall. It does not matter. Buckeye football should be a part of our regular routine every single day. And while doing that, you're going to learn more about some coaches and some players and their relationships. And Sam Williams-Dixon says that his relationship with Carlos Locklyn is stronger. And that strength in that relationship with Carlos Locklyn is one that I believe tied into Williams-Dixon coming back to where he truly belongs, which is Ohio State. I don't think he would come back to Ohio State if his relationship with Locklyn was rocky or one of no repair. I believe you want to go to a place because of a coach, that you believe in said coach, and that you know you can be developed into being a good running back, maybe a great running back. It's someone that's going to push you beyond the limits that you believe you have in your life, especially on the football field. Well, here's what Williams-Dixon said about his relationship with Carlos Locklyn and why, and that has grown stronger. This came from a media availability session, I believe a week ago, after one of the Buckeye spring practices. Quote, "We weren't really talking, but now we have those man-to-man talks," end quote. And simply going from we weren't really talking, but being comfortable having the man-to-man talks, that shows maturity on Williams-Dixon's part. Even for Locklyn to do that, a lot of coaches will want to have the man-to-man talks, but don't want to go the extra mile or push the young man a little bit further to make sure he is able to have that kind of conversation with him. I mean, you've been there. People you've been disgruntled with, or someone at work, a boss you don't like, and instead of going to that boss and having a conversation or even pulling somebody into the room while you guys talk, all of a sudden it turns into you going to your boys and you going to this person, you going to that person, and it's a recipe for disaster. I don't really watch or even listen to this show regularly at all. I came across a clip of The Breakfast Club and Jess Hilarious and Lauren, someone, I have no idea who she was. Good speaker on the radio show at least. Are beefing, and Charlamagne the God and DJ Envy were in some conversations Jess Hilarious had on Instagram Live, and instead of going to them individually and handling it behind closed doors like adults should, she went on Instagram Live and was live around the world. And when I first heard about this, I'm thinking that's a little strange. I don't know. I know she's on the show. She was on maternity leave, and she came back, and she was disgruntled about some things that were going on in the format of the show. And a certain young lady that was on the show had a bigger voice and called the operation of the radio show, I don't know, it was an immature word she used. I'm not really sure. Basically, it was a bunch of adults beefing, and they weren't handling it in the right way. And instead of having adult conversations behind closed doors, they were having adult conversations on the air. And you can realize they aren't comfortable having those adult conversations at all with each other, which is a massive problem, especially when you're a part of a show that is very, very popular. Now, you're at Ohio State. No, you're not on a radio show that's on multiple outlets in video and audio forms. You're not there. No. You're at Ohio State. There were some numbers that have been circulating once again. I saw some numbers that were going around just reiterating how big the Buckeyes were for viewership in the playoffs. And was it 22 million watched the Natty? Ohio State won that. 21 million watched the Rose Bowl. Ohio State won that. And that's just one game for 3.5 hours. And thinking, oh, wow, Ohio State has a lot of eyeballs. Now imagine if Ohio State has some coaching issues and players and coaches weren't getting along, and they were just airing all that laundry out on social media, and they weren't able to handle it behind closed doors. You would say this is immature. It's just crazy. Why is that coach here? And when is that guy going to mature and grow up? Well, if you're an incoming freshman, you might be like some people on the radio show that were doing some things in the wrong way. You need to have adult conversations or man-to-man conversations, and that's not stuff you're going to do publicly. Do it behind closed doors or do it with a witness so people can realize, hey, you're in the wrong here. Here's how you need to grow up. Here's this issue. Here's that. Here's how you improve. Here's how you can get better, and do it in a very mature way. And Williams-Dixon and Locklyn having to be able to have a stronger relationship now, and also going from not really talking to being able to have those man-to-man talks. That's not just football. That's life. Those are life situations and life occurrences they're talking about, and I believe it's great for him. But also, he also touched on, do this quickly, almost out of time. Williams-Dixon also touched on the transition from high school to college and how different the two are. Quote, you're not going to be up late at night. You got to be locked in. You got to know when to go to sleep. You're going to have classes at night. Stuff that you didn't do in high school, you're doing it here. You're going to meetings late, especially in the fall camp. You got meetings late. You're here all day, end quote. And that last part really ties into a lot of the stuff that people sometimes overlook. Even high school athletes, meetings late at night. Oh, man, I could kind of slack off. No. Or I got free time and I got nothing to do the rest of the day and it's 6 o'clock. I would just call it a day and relax. Go to sleep early, rest your body. Oh, class at night? Man, that's just going to be a breeze. No. Everything is geared to help you want to accommodate your athletic traits, but also help you be the best all-around person. But it's hard. Going from high school football, not hard for a lot of people. College football is hard. Very hard. And that transition is one where he can help some of the young guys, where even Tavius St. Clair talked about, I got to get my own food. I didn't have to do that before. I mean, there's so many things for these incoming freshmen that are such a big life change for them that some guys realize this ain't for me, and they're not here. This isn't saying that they're a bad player or they're a bad individual. But simply being a college athlete isn't for everyone. And being a Buckeye isn't for everyone. But it is for Sam Williams-Dixon. He found that the grass isn't always greener. His relationship with Locklyn is stronger. And he's continuing to transition from high school ball to playing ball at The Ohio State University. Thank y'all for tapping Locked On Buckeyes and making this show a part of your day. For your second listen check out Locked On College Basketball, where Andy Patton and Isaac Shade are the two individuals you need to follow all tournament long, as well as for the NIT and the college basketball crown. Follow them to get your college basketball fix, especially as the portal opens up today, so you can get all the news about the Buckeyes entering the portal and also the ones the Buckeyes need to pursue as they try to build a true contender. You can find both shows on the YouTube and wherever you get your fine podcasts. You can follow me on any social media platform at jstevens07. Send every email to jstevens317@gmail.com. This has been Locked On Buckeyes on a Monday. We'll see you next time.